all the stories you know and love in an up-to-date, edgy style. Religion, Ho-Ho's way. All right. Welcome, everybody. How y'all's doing? Another episode of Religion, Ho-Ho's way. And of which case, with this being Easter, I figured it only prudent, only proper to do an Easter show. Heck yes. Amazingly good times. So, as I'm sure you can see from the title, or at least the description of this, you know, paganism and Christianity. Why do they line up so much? So, just so you guys know, that wasn't always the case. That isn't how it started off being whatsoever. You know, before you had, you know, all kinds of different holidays that they had that did not line up with paganism or any other type of pagan holiday. But, you know, after Constantine, you know, converting into Christianity, and, you know, which is also whenever we went from having a Sabbath on the Saturday to having Sabbath on the Sunday, that's whenever a lot of that type of stuff really, really started going on and started happening. So, first and foremost, let's just go ahead and go into, you know, Easter. Now, yes, this is a holiday that the Christians basically took over, in a matter of speaking, only in some cases, because for the most part, of the other crap that they did, you've got, with like the Easter bunny and with eggs, what does that have to do with, with Good Friday, him dying, with Jesus dying on the cross, and then of course with, Easter Sunday, the resurrection. What does a rabbit and an Easter egg have to do with that? What the heck is going on? And that is more or less the blending of paganism with Christianity. Within paganism, with pagans, I guess, whatever you could say, Easter is a celebration of fertility. All right. That's what it is. That's why it's an egg. That's why it's a rabbit, because nothing reproduces as fast as a rabbit. So that's why those are in there. Easter is was the deity, the god of fertility. Even the Romans, they celebrated they were the first ones who did the naked mile, because that's what they did. That's what, if you guys remember your history with Julius Caesar, he ran naked through the streets, and that was on Easter, because that's what they were doing was, what's up, Wilcox? How you doing, sir? Nice to see you. But yeah, that's what they were celebrating, fertility. Okay. So that's why a lot of those things coincide with it. And I got some notification pop up, whatever, doesn't matter. That's why they coincide, Easter, no, we don't think that actually happened around that time frame. And of course, the other big one also is, Yep. Bye. Have a good one. The other good one, or the other one is Christmas. No, we do not think, Christians do not think that, the birth of Jesus happened, December 25th. That's just when we celebrate it, and why we celebrate that. I got to be honest with you. I don't actually like the reasoning behind it, but, that's just me. They did this, they changed this because they, with Constantine, he wanted more pagans, more people to feel comfortable in going from pagan into Christianity. They wanted them to make that, or he wanted that to be a less of a culture shock on them. And that's why they changed the Sabbath from Saturday, which was the seventh day, to Sunday, which is the first day. In pagan, the Sunday is the day of the sun, where you worship the sun. That's what they did on Sunday. So that's why they did that. That's also why they celebrate, the resurrection of Christ on Easter Sunday, coinciding with, worshiping the god of fertility. I don't actually recall what the holiday is around Christmas, but I do know that the date of that was picked for that reason, but that's more or less what it amounts to, and I got to be honest that I really don't necessarily agree with that, for the simple fact is, why should one religion, more or less cater to another one whenever it comes to ceremonies and different things like that? Yeah, it may clean up the calendar a little bit, but who cares on that one, but that's just one of them things with Christianity. The whole aspect of it is you've got to deny oneself in order to really get the full benefits of, well, lack of better terms, I guess, get the full benefits of it. But so, that's just a fundamental difference between Christianity and other religions. Most other religions, it's, well, no, I ain't going there. Yeah, I'm not going there. But that's just the difference between it. So I definitely recommend, just doing your homework on some of these things and really seeing what the differences are, what the correlations are. But yeah, we don't actually think anything other than, that's just where we celebrate it, So in with paganism, god of fertility, that's what you're worshiping. That's what you're doing. That's why you look for Easter eggs. That's why you color Easter eggs. That's why you eat the heads off of pretty little chocolate bunnies, But in with Christianity, what you are actually celebrating is, the resurrection of the Christ. That's what you're celebrating. And of course, with, Good Friday, you are celebrating, which I don't necessarily know why you're exactly celebrating it, or why they call it Good Friday, because it is the day that he was crucified and he died. Never understood why they called that Good Friday, why that's a point of celebration, but at any rate, I don't get it. I never have. I never will. A couple neat, interesting things to take note, and again, this is one of them things I would definitely recommend looking into scripture, if you are interested, of course. You're eating a chocolate bunny right now. That is awesome. My favorite little redhead eating a chocolate bunny. That is so kick-ass. I love it. I should definitely be eating a chocolate bunny right now as well. All right. Well, chocolate bunny. So a couple things that I find very interesting, and with the, because there's a lot of different things for read scripture as far as, it gives you a lot of, not necessarily dates, but things that were going on and what was going on during the time of the resurrection. So, there was a, some type of a ceremony that was going to be happening the next day. And that's why they didn't, because normally in crucifixion, it's not necessarily it's a type of corporal punishment. It was designed to drag it out and to be as painful as possible. Some people were crucified for like 2 or 3 days. It was a very, very horrible, painful form of punishment, corporal punishment, capital punishment, if you will. And then, one of the other holidays that was mentioned, and again, I don't remember these off the top of my head. I would actually have to, look into it in order to remember. But, one of the things that most people just automatically assume is that, once Christ resurrected, that he was only here for like a day or two. Oh, yeah, you're going to Mississippi with your dad on Thursday? That is awesome. That's very, very cool. Well, I hope you have a good time. What is you must be like boycotting school or something, but that's cool. That's cool. I'm happy for you. Hope you have a good time. Pester him, do all kinds of pestering on him. He likes being pestered. He does. He loves being pestered. You're welcome. But, one of them things to just backing up. But there was a holiday that was going on the next day, whenever Christ was crucified. And then, like, I believe it was like 52 or 56 days later. No, I'm sorry, 52 or like 54, 55 days later, there was another holiday or another feast that was going on. And that was actually the day that Jesus resurrected. So, I mean, there was like, a period of about 50 days from the point of resurrection to the point of ascension. Oh, okay, you don't have school next week. Well, that's awesome. Well, kick ass then. Yes, enjoy Mississippi and definitely be pestering your dad as much as you possibly can. Or, slightly behave maybe. Maybe slightly behave. So there was a lot of time between resurrection and ascension, and another one of them aspects too. Good morning, Mr. Patrick. How are you doing today, sir? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, that's just cheap. There, little redhead. You can't just sleep the entire time you're doing that. How are you supposed to see anything and enjoy the scenery if you're spending the entire time in the sleeper berth? That's just, what the heck, man? Come on now. You don't want to do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, back to resurrection and ascension. You've got a time period of about 50 some odd days between the two, okay? Another aspect of this is there was a lot of people that seen him, okay? That's why... Oh, you haven't been there before? Yeah, see, that's just all the more reason to stay up and to, be engaged whenever you're going down there. So, yeah, just be engaged. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Oh, yeah. So, because there was also a big ceremony, a big, a festival or whatever that they were having, a feast or whatnot. There was a lot of people in Jerusalem at the time whenever he was crucified. So there was a lot of people that seen him. Estimates of around like 4,000 some odd people. I think there's a minimum of like a couple thousand that was there during the time he was ascended. And I think it mentions roughly 500 or so people that he talked to. Oh, Dagan went to North Dakota today. Well, that's cool. Oh, yeah, he did leave for North Dakota today. I forgot about that. I forgot that he left for North Dakota today. Well, that's cool. Is he actually gone right now? I'm assuming he's gone. With it being this late in the day, I'm sure he is. But, yeah, well, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I'm sure he's going to have a good time going up there. Yeah, it's snowing. Hopefully that he doesn't get, too caught up in snow. Hopefully he doesn't get too caught up in snow. But anyway, there was at least like 50 people, I'm sorry, like about 500 people that it talks about. Oh, Mr. Patrick says better now that he's off work, so that's good, 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 good. So, yes. Oh, he left at 3? Favorite redhead, that's cool. So, yeah, it mentions about like, Bree said, hi. Well, hi back, Bree. How you doing? Good to, I guess I can't see you. Well, hold on, let me. Oops, I hit the mic. Hold on. Nope, I can't see you. I'm such a weirdo. I am such a weirdo. Yeah, that's funny. All right, so, but anyway, there's about like 500 people, 550 some odd people that basically scripture mentioned that he, talked to, that he had interactions with, so that's one of them aspects around, around Christ that, it's, yes, okay. Like everybody's played the whole telephone game as far as, passing a message from one person to the other. And by the time, from the beginning to the end, the message has completely changed. But in this type of a situation, it's kind of like the, something happened and there was a butt ton of people in town that was there at the time and are like, oh yeah, this definitely happened. The word went out and people heard about this and was like, dude, this has got to be a joke. This can't have been real. This guy didn't get resurrected. Holy crap. There ain't no way in hell, but there's quite a few different things surrounding this that really bears the question of, if not, then what actually happened? Because nothing that happened makes sense with, one, how the Romans actually do things, and two, with, more or less the entire words. I hate English. I really do. There are times whenever English is just, it sucks. English is a first language. I'll tell you what, it's hard. It really is. I've been speaking this for at least 2 years now. And I still struggle with English, I still struggle a lot with it, but, like, okay, with the 12 disciples, for instance, every single one of these people died a horrible death, including Judas Iscariot. He hung himself, but, besides him, they all died a martyr's death. They all did, they all died horribly. So, you had a time frame when the main form of communication was not electronic. It was not by telephone. It was by word of mouth. People telling stories and people communicating that direction and writing letters. And for the most part, most of these people, especially when we're talking doctors, tax collectors, which, Luke and Matthew, tax collector. These people are prone to keep track of details. Tax collectors, holy crap, yeah, they keep track of details. Lawyers, heck yeah, they keep track of details. Even though they may lie their butt off in court, they still know what happened so that this way they can better lie about it later on down the road. But these people are highly capable of knowing what actually happened and as the courts would say, they are they can give a reliable and a, what's that other word I'm looking for? Reliable account and testimony of what they've seen and what happened. So you've got death, resurrection, ascension, 500 to like a couple thousand people that seen him. So people hearing what was going on, going down there to Jerusalem and going, dude, did this actually happen? Oh yeah, it happened. Well, how do you know it happened? Because I seen him. I seen him die. And then I seen him later on. And yeah, it was him. I don't know how, but it was him. But that's the kind of stuff that was happening in that time frame. That's one of them aspects of, holy crap. Another part of this is that, okay, you've got, let's back this up a little bit. Let's see, I'm only going to back up to Roman soldiers, centurions, I think that's what they're called. I'm going to start with that one. The tomb was guarded by 2 centurions, 2 soldiers. All right. Now, here's one of the things with the Romans. All right. They are ruthless. They were ruthless people. And anytime you're dealing with an inmate and a guard type of a scenario, if you are a guard, your inmate's life is your own. Your inmate escapes, you pay his penalty. You die. You die by the sword. So these guys don't fall asleep. These guys don't just do something like that, because if they do, they know the punishment is death. Okay? Now, here's the thing, though. They were afraid because of the prophecies on this that they were pretty well, they knew darn good and well that, Jesus' followers, the disciples, were going to come down there and they were going to try to steal the body. That's what they knew was going to happen. So they were vigilant. They were on guard. They were paying attention. They were taking note of what was going on. They were investigating every sound. They were checking it out. They were being vigilant. This. Why? Because they knew that the disciples were going to come and steal the body, and they knew that if that happened, they would pay for it with their lives. So they were on guard, and they had a very good reason to stay awake and to stay vigilant. Did they stay awake and stay vigilant? No, they got knocked out. They woke up after the fact. Did they pay with their lives? No. Because their accounts of what happened saved them. And the Romans were more or less like, we're going to keep this hush-hush. We're not going to kill you because we believe you. So we're not going to kill you. We're not going to end your life. Instead, we're going to do our very best to cover this up. That's what we're going to do. Instead of killing you, we're going to ship your happy ass up to Alaska because you messed up. You screwed up. You should be dead right now. Instead, thank me by packing your bags, getting your family ready, and you're heading up to Alaska. Now, of course, they didn't send them up to Alaska because that wasn't even a thing back then. But he sent them away. He sent them to the outest reach of the Roman, their entire, what they ruled. Okay, they sent them as far away from the epicenter of what happened as humanly possible. That's where they sent them, a.k.a. they sent them up to Alaska. That's what they did to them. They shut them up, quiet them up, both of them. That's where they sent them, okay? So that just, okay, conspiracy theorists already going, oh, well, that just means right there. Well, yeah, you're right. That just means. Second aspect of this, after 2,000 years, they've yet to find the body. Oh, yeah. After 2,000 years, they have yet to find the body. Now, they say that they found a cloth, the Turin cross, or not the cross, but the shroud, the Turin shroud. They say that they found that. They can't really verify, which I don't really see why they can't. because, at very least, you have Mary, Jesus' mom. I'm sure you can track her down where she was buried at. You can verify whether the blood that was on there, at least in some way, shape, or form, was his. Yeah. So there you go. There's just a couple things, aspects of it surrounding it that definitely is like, you know what? There's some things to take note in this, So you had the conspiracy theorists going on. You had a butt ton of eyewitnesses that seen what happened, that seen him, and every one of them were like, oh yeah, it happened. That's how the stories of his death, resurrection, and ascension actually, went out, was because they were, because people seen it. It wasn't, even though it was a localized event, it happened in the epicenter of, Israel's population. It's like something like that happening in New York City. Yeah, people's going to see it. It's nothing you're just going to hide. I mean, you're not going to get one of the MIB people over there and say, take a look at this, and then they zap you and they take the memory out of your head. It ain't going to happen like that, So, yeah, it's like something like that happening in like Las Vegas, Nevada, or in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, like that would ever happen in Las Vegas. But happen in LA, happen in New York City. There's a butt ton of people that's going to be able to see it. Whenever people come to investigate, they're going to be like, oh, wow. So there you go. But pagan, let's go back to the original topic. Paganism versus that previously was like the Easter portion of it. Yeah. So, all right. Paganism, Christianity, so you got Sunday, worship of the sun god. That's why they moved it from Saturday to love you too, good night. But that's why they had to go. That's why they went from Saturday to Sunday. Easter is worship of fertility. I don't remember what Christmas was. Don't remember at all. But that's another interesting fact. Actually, is they know what year and what day Jesus was born on. They've actually found that out. Because they took the accounts of the shepherds and the magi, which were astrologers, because that's more or less what a magi was they were more or less astrologers. So they were looking at the stars and they were looking at the planets and they were looking at, the heavenly bodies and going like, okay, with the magi, for instance, they knew something significant is going on. Somebody's being born. We don't know who, we don't know where, but something significant is going on right now. And they were like, holy crap, because they can tell by the stars. They were like, dude, something's going on tonight. We've got to, dude, that thing right there, that's moving backwards from how it's supposed to be going. These guys look up at the stars all the time. They know the stars. They know how things are supposed to move. And obviously, no, it was not a star that was moving the opposite direction. It was actually a planet. It was still a heavenly body, but it was going backwards, or at least it was appearing to go backwards. And that's why they were like, we got to follow that. That right there, we got to follow it. That's weird. It's going backwards. It's supposed to be going that way. It's going that way. That's why they followed it, because it was completely different. It was doing something different than what it was supposed to be doing. They knew this, and that's where like, we got to check that out. Follow it. Go get them. That's just cool. This is cool if you ask me. I think it's neat. It's interesting. All right. So, and I think it was like around around April 20 something or another, like 22nd to like the 25th or 26th. And I believe 6 BC. It was either 6 BC or 3 BC. If I remember correctly, that was basically the day that Jesus was born. They know this because, the scripture is very clear on the different astrological signs that, was going on at the time. And they were able to take that information, roll back the clock, and say, that right there is when it actually happened. And I thought that was pretty stinking cool. So, I mean, yeah, it's no longer argued that, no, he wasn't born on December 25th. But that's just the day that they choose to worship it, to celebrate it, not worship it, celebrate it. There we go. Well, guys, that's pretty well all I got for this one. Yeah, kind of a small show, only 30 minutes, but hey, you know what? It works. If you guys like the show, don't forget to give me the thumbs up. If you don't, give me the thumbs down. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. This way you can guys get notified on any other videos that I do. And hope you guys have a great one. Happy Easter. And you all take care. Bye. You